Hey, big fucking dreamers. So pumped to be here with you today. Welcome to the show. Dive right in with a personal update. Something brand new about me. I'm very into personal finance, looking at money, investing, wealth creation, and it's something that I was really into when I was at LinkedIn. And then I kind of stopped really looking at it, just had more of a passive strategy going on. But lately, I've picked it back up again. I'm working with a mentor all around money and wealth, and I'm really excited about that. And this time, like, to be focused on that. My favorite personal finance guru is Ramit Sethi, and he has just come out with a book, Money for Couples. And me being me and Chris, my fiance, like marrying a life coach, I'm just like, ooh, let's go through this book together. And I'm so excited about it, of just like creating my rich life, my vision for my life. What do we want our life to look like together? What do we want our future children's lives to look like? How does that look like with money and wealth and finance? And I find it so fun to be in this state where we're in like a real deep imagining right now of designing our lives together, and then looking at how do we make that happen with money, and really using money as a vehicle for abundance, as a vehicle for success. And like, money is just really energy when it comes down to it. But anyway, this isn't really even a money episode at all. It's just something that I've been thinking about a lot. What we're going to look at is a mindset shift that I talk to my clients about. I just taught this in the Life and Work Transformation. If you've gone through the Life and Work Transformation, you will definitely know what I'm talking about. If you are about to go through the Life and Work Transformation, this is a really good episode to prepare, because the next cohort does start January 31st. I think that this episode might come out either right before or right after it starts. This episode is going to be for you if you want to become more empowered. If you feel like you're stuck in your life, you never really get what you want. You also compare yourself a lot to other people. So when someone gets a promotion, or when someone gets something that you wanted, whether that be, I was going to say pregnancy, but I'm actually not going to talk about any of that. But it could be a relationship, let's say, whether that be someone gets engaged, or someone has a new boyfriend, or even someone like wins some type of award, and you feel high levels of comparison, high levels of self-judgment, like, why don't I have that? This episode is going to be really applicable as well. If you often feel like you blame other people, you probably won't know this, but you might be saying, okay, God, I'm just like this because my mom parented me this way. Therefore, I'm like this, this, and this. If you are like a big rescuer, you feel really overly responsible for other people. You also give people advice when they don't ask for it, maybe on weight loss, or advice on their career, or advice on their finances. People don't come to you and ask for these things, but you're always trying to improve people or make it better. That a sign of this would be like, you're the one in the family that people always come to as well, to like dump their problems on. You feel like you're just like a big dumpster truck for everyone else's bullshit. This is a sign. And the sign that I'm saying that I'm looking at is looking at the dynamic in your life of, are you a victim or are you a creator in your life? And this is a theory by Fred Kaufman. It's part of his conscious business theory. When I was at LinkedIn, I think he was a VP. The way I imagine Fred Kaufman, if anyone has seen Silicon Valley, he's kind of like the guru to the CEOs of Silicon Valley. And I think he's at Google now. He really has highly influenced my career. He's quite a polarizing character, if you know him or have experienced him, but a lot of his teachings made me want to be a coach and made me want to do this work. This is a mindset that I love, and it's called like, are you a victim or are you a player? I kind of interchange words, saying, are you a creator of your own life? So I'm going to explain what the differences are between the two. Okay, so if you are a victim in your life, and I do want to just caveat here that I'm not necessarily talking about like actual abuse here. I'm talking about where you feel like, God, this always happens to me, or, they are always getting it, or life isn't fair. Notice if you say phrases like, you really make me angry, I'm late because there's traffic, or I'm sorry I'm late for this call, this guy wouldn't stop talking, I couldn't get off the phone. That is real signs of victim behavior. And a real cost of victim behavior can be as well is like missed opportunities. So your career likely won't go where you want it to go. You will have typically lower pay as well. Your finances won't be as lucrative as they could be. Your relationships will struggle. When we look at, are we the victim of our life, or are we the creator of our life? We're really looking at two things. Are we empowered or are we disempowered? And if you are the victim in your life, you are always going to be in a disempowered state. You're always going to be in a state of either martyrdom or rescuing. A huge thing for victims as well is looking at, are you resentful? So if resentment is a huge factor in your life, you are likely in victim mentality. The flip side of that is being in creator mode. What that looks like is taking radical responsibility of your own life and really living in high accountability. You're almost saying, every single thing that is in my life right now is a factor or is a result of my behavior. People that are high creator modes, they have really what's called like a very high internal locus of control. So they believe that they can actually shift and change. And really, when we're looking at that, allows people to have more power. That allows people to have more autonomy over their life. That usually gives people a higher sense of freedom. So if someone is usually in creator mode or more of in a creator space, if let's say they're really struggling at work, they will likely have more of a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is very victim. They think that, things are innate. They think that they're not going to be able to learn and change. Whereas a creator mode, it's like, okay, I don't know this right now, but I haven't found the solution, but I can find it. I can get help around it. I can get mentorship. I can learn this skill. I don't know where it is yet, but I can do it. They are putting themselves at the center of their own life. So if you feel I'm going over these things and you're like, oh shit, like I'm definitely in victim mode a lot. I rescue people. I feel like I'm in resentment a lot of the time. I get angry a lot of the time. I think that it's all other people's fault. It's all my mom's fault. It's all my partner's fault. It's all my screaming toddler's fault. That is a sign that you really are in victim mode. So I want you to think of a situation in the past week where you feel really resentful or you feel like a bit angry or it could be even envious. I want you to ask yourself, where have I contributed to this? Like, what is my part in it? I have a client, she came to a session and she was experiencing a lot of resentment around her boss. There had been someone else that had been promoted. She kind of felt like that role could have been hers. She also felt like she wasn't recognized in team meetings, and the boss was a little bit flippant with her about these things. She was really like experiencing it. She was really saying, I don't think this is fair. And then I just asked her, have you ever said to your boss that you would like that role? And she said no. One thing that's kind of more in victim mindset is expecting people to be mind readers. This is a huge thing. Expecting your husband to be a mind reader, your wife to be a mind reader, your boss to be a mind reader, your assistant, your stakeholders, whatever it is. But we expect that people should know where we're coming from. And then I looked with my client of, okay, what can we do here to flip her more from victim mode into creator mode? So what we actually did was we designed a career path and we said, let's do a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan. And this client was very confident in her career. She didn't want to switch careers or anything. She just wanted to continue moving up in her same company. But there was a career progression that she'd never expressed. And her boss even said to her, I had no idea that you wanted that role. Like, she had never really said that or sought out to explain that. So what we did there is we designed their career plan. Then the next step was actually speaking to her boss about it and setting up a career meeting and saying, okay, I want to talk about this. I want to let you know my plans. And then there was another thing there, which is she felt like everyone else was always praised during meetings and she was never praised. Then I said, have you expressed that? And again, the answer was no. I love this client so much and she's done so much work on herself. She expressed that. She made a sheet. I gave her a worksheet on this is how best to work with me. Looking at where is it that you feel like things are unjust, unfair? How then have you contributed to the situation and how can you shift out of it? This kind of happens a lot, let's say with finances as well. A real victim statement would be like, oh, I can't afford it. Versus a creator statement would be something like, I'm not prioritizing it right now. Or even, I don't have time for that. Versus, I'm spending my time prioritizing different things. And this is something in my life, like I love being a victim. Well, one of my mentors calls like, this is one of my huge defects of character. Like I love being a victim, but I have had to work so hard to overcome this, to say, okay, how am I positively, or how have I contributed to this situation? That's with friendships, that's with relationships, that's with my career. What am I doing that has contributed to this outcome? How can I shift it one step at a time? What I would encourage everyone to do is think about, what's one situation in that you have had in this past week that you feel resentful of, that you feel angry of, and say, If I were to take radical responsibility, what is one thing I could do? Would it be to put that meeting in with your direct report and actually tell them, you know what, this type of behavior or whatever you're doing, like it's not acceptable, or I need you to focus on these types of things? Would it be at telling your husband that you feel really drained and burned out and exhausted and you're resentful that both of you work full time, but it seems like you have to take more of the brunt of childcare when you're working just as hard? Maybe that's a conversation that you need to have. And maybe you need to say, we need to hire a housekeeper or get more help with the children. But what's one thing that you can do to make your power back? And who is that one person that you could talk to? And I would make this time bound too. So like, give yourself this week, 7 days, and commit, I'm going to do this thing. When am I going to do it? Who am I going to have the conversation with? And I want you to see how you feel after. If it is kind of a boundary or something, you might feel a bit of shame, a little bit selfish for that. You might feel scared and fearful, but that's totally okay, because the more you do this and the more you start expressing your needs, then the easier it will become. And also the more your needs get met, because we can't expect people to just meet our needs when we've never expressed them. This is like a really kind of quick, short, snappy episode, but just thinking, what's my part in this? Where am I stuck in this? How do I get out of this? And what is one step I can take to move forward? I want you to DM me about it. I want you to say, this is the step that I took. This is the result. If you need additional help, I'd love to help you. I'm even like happy to get on a 30-minute call and brainstorm, like, how do we make you more empowered, more confident? And whenever you start to think something is going wrong in my life, I want you to ask, how have I contributed? It is a radical mindset shift, and this shift alone will 100% change your life to become more empowered, for you to take radical responsibility, and so you can build the life of your dreams. If you like this, shoot me a DM. I hope you did, my big fucking dreamers, and I will speak to you soon.